Keir Starmer is under enormous pressure, so much so that he soon may be forced from office. The most unpopular Prime Minister in British history, Sir Starmer previously appeared to be safe in his office until his Labour Party takes its now inevitable pummeling in the next national election. The news cycle's intense focus on Starmer's friend, Labour insider, political fixer, and ambassador to the USA, Peter Mandelson, now threatens Starmer's position. And while Mandelson is an odious figure, and it was a disgrace to appoint such a man to office, this affair is of minor significance compared to Keir Starmer's true crimes. This is a prime minister who has pushed the UK to the brink of World War III with the biggest nuclear superpower on the planet, Russia, over the status of some disputed territory on Russia's border on the other side of Europe, a dispute which has nothing to do with British national security. This is also a prime minister who has stood by and actually at times enabled an invasion level rise in illegal immigration, most via, famously via small boats crossing the English Channel. This was all very predictable and very preventable, but Prime Minister Keir Starmer did not stop the invasion. He has supported mass immigration, which is so radically changing the country. Polls show that this is the number one issue for the public. Does Prime Minister Starmer care? Of course not. Starmer is part of a ruling class in the West, which is transnational. It is globalist. It has nothing but contempt for the native European nations, cultures, and Christian faith. They do not care if Manchester becomes Muslim. They don't care if Aberdeen becomes African. They don't care if Ipswich becomes Indian. They are an international class, so none of this matters to them. This internationalism or globalism gets back to Starmer's warmongering. The ruling class he belongs to doesn't care if credible threats of a nuclear strike are made against British cities and towns over a conflict in the Russian steppes. Starmer has been a leading voice of escalation in that conflict, threatening to cause a border war to morph into a European war of nuclear destruction, possibly. It definitely makes it more likely. So Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein, objectively awful, truly terrible people. And it was a really bad move for Starmer to reward this party insider with all these known ties to Epstein. Morally, of course, you don't want to appoint someone close to someone like Epstein. And politically, you endanger national interest by keeping someone around connected to a spy like Epstein who works with foreign interests. The Mandelson affair shows poor judgment by Starmer, but as far as we know, Britain was not greatly harmed by it. It was embarrassing to the UK, and it further revealed the poor character and terrible decision-making of Prime Minister Starmer. Almost anyone would truly provide the UK with more capable and better respected leadership than this silver spoon socialist, this limousine leftist. Keir is infamous for being a bribe while one crisis after another strikes Great Britain. So much so that he's frequently called Never Hear Keir. This prime minister, obsessed with defending the Ukraine's borders, seems to have no time at all for defending the UK's borders. Perhaps someone should tell Starmer that Devon is in the Donbass, and maybe then he would care. One final point on Starmer and immigration is this is essentially irreversible without a major national effort. And opinion polls on this are very clear. The public is worried about it. They think that there are too many immigrants in the UK, and Starmer has overseen a flash flood of foreigners during his government. Pundits have widely predicted that on May 7th, the people will punish Starmer's pampered paradigm of privilege and political paralysis. Reform will likely pick up a lot of wins. Labor is unpopular. under Starmer, and the right is increasingly united under reform. But here's the real point, and I don't think that others are pointing this out. They're just pointing at Mandelson and Epstein, and they're largely criticizing Starmer on that basis of these two disgusting devils. But this criticism of Starmer, this is preferred by the elites, and that's the point. They prefer personnel scandals like this. It's safe for them. It doesn't threaten the system or its policies. Mass immigration, World War III, no, 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 no. Did you hear about that Mandelson fella and Jeffrey Epstein and Keir Starmer? Let's focus on that for a bit. Let's let everybody cool off for a little while. We can sacrifice this one man. He's a loyal globalist as well, well connected. But we can sacrifice him. Everyone can cheer about it. Everyone can go back to work. And the system can keep on screwing over the people. The system can keep on escalating things against Russia and acting to keep the war going, to keep the slush fund well funded. The system can keep on filling up England with a lot of cheap foreign labor. Let's focus on Mandelson and Epstein and Starmer and not really say much about England being destroyed, Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland going down the same path. Unfortunately, it's not just in the UK where it's like this. That transnational class I mentioned is pervasive throughout the West. They rule in Spain, where they just did a mass amnesty for 500,000 illegal immigrants. And here's the real kicker. 70% of the public opposed the amnesty. It didn't matter. 59% of Socialist Party voters opposed the amnesty. It didn't matter. The ruling class in Spain got what it wanted. Sanchez in Madrid, Starmer in London, they're part of the same ruling class. And it's great for the UK if Starmer is replaced in the near future. Even another random globalist warmonger would probably be a more effective leader. And I'm not talking about the return of Alfred the Great here. Anyone would probably be more effective than Starmer. But if we learn the lessons of how the elites rule over us and exploit us, and then offer up sacrificial lambs when public outrage threatens to boil over, then we will be well on our way to restoring national sovereignty and taking back control of our future here in the West, whether it be in the UK, Spain, or the USA.